Have you ever wondered if you've lived before or will live again? Are you curious about what happens to your soul after you die? Or maybe you've met someone you're sure you've known before. Or maybe you're just wondering if you have talents, skills, and experiences from a prior life that could help you now. Hi, I'm Brownell Landrum, author of the upcoming We Meet Again trilogy, and I'd like to welcome you to the Life is a Trip podcast. The following story was written and narrated by yours truly, Brownell Landrum. It's a story covering a range of emotions with some powerful themes. I hope you enjoy it. Prologue. The words are written with force, anger, determination. Apocalypse, now. This is Judgment Day, and I'm the Terminator. Earlier that day, Donnie Ray wants to scream, yell his head off. I didn't freaking cheat. I knew the answers to Garber's stupid test. It was so easy, it was pathetic. But what's the point? No one will listen to him anyway. They never do. Now Garber is going to force the counselor, Miss Linzer, to put it on his permanent record. His life is over. There goes any hope for a future. The thing is, Donnie Ray is good at math. Like really good. He gets every single question right every time. It's like the answers just come to him in a way he can't explain. And that's the problem. The teacher won't accept his responses, demanding to see all the steps Donnie Ray took to solve the problem. Dejected and hopeless, Donnie Ray eventually makes his way home for dinner. By the look on his parents' faces, they'd heard from the counselor. His mother, as usual, is the one to speak. 6:31. You're late. You don't know dinner's at 6:30. Cheating in math. Your twin would have never done anything like that, she adds, breaking the silence as they eat. There she goes again, going on and on about his twin brother who died. Ridiculous. For one thing, they weren't twins. His brother died years before Donnie Ray was born. His mother claimed it was such a blessing that Donnie Ray looked so much like Donald Raymond when he was born that she chose the same name. How sick is that? Inevitably, Donnie Ray can never measure up to his twin. The firstborn was the virtuous Dr. Jekyll, and he is the evil Mr. Hyde. Once he overheard his mother tell someone it's like that old movie Twins, when one got all the good genes and the other got the leftover waste parts. Toxic waste. Instead of acting rationally in the moment, Donnie Ray escapes to his room and opens a new journal he got from his aunt. The first words he writes are apocalypse, now. This is Judgment Day, and I'm the Terminator. Donnie Ray loves old movies and books. It's like he was born at the wrong time or something. Whatever the case, he'll never fit in. With nothing to lose, he plans. How much ammo he'll need, who he'll hit, and how. Maybe he'll start with a bomb in the office. When he finishes writing, he admires the posters on his walls. Armageddon, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Martian. Mimicking Brad Pitt's voice, he recites the quote on the Fight Club poster. You are not special. You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else. The next day, he strides down the hall, surveying his fellow students. Using his fingers in the shape of a gun, he envisions taking out kid after kid. The targets include a cheerleader surrounded by jocks, a transgender kid, a girl holding a stack of books, and a disabled boy. As he walks by the principal's office, Donnie Ray imagines blowing him away. When he passes Mrs. Linzer's office, he presses an imaginary button, setting off a bomb. After school, Donnie Ray goes out to the woods for target practice. As he effortlessly shoots each cam off a limb in the distance, he shouts out names. Mom, Dad, Garba, Linzer. When he finishes, he takes out his journal and makes notes. Supplies, guns and ammo, bomb materials. Targets, Mr. Garba and Ms. Linzer, Mom and Dad, Susie Benner and those other cheerleaders, the jocks, all the other posers at school. Then he puts away his journal and opens his math homework, answering every question rapid fire like a game. Take that, garbage man, he says vehemently to his math teacher. As he sets up for more target practice, two boys, Bo and Jimmy, walk up. What you doing, Donnie Ray? Bo asks. Donnie Ray has to fight to suppress an eye roll, since it's quite obvious what he's doing. But when Bo starts fidgeting with Donnie Ray's backpack, it makes Donnie Ray so nervous he has to distract him. What's this? Donnie Ray says as he knocks down the targets effortlessly. Impressed, Bo says, I'm in. It's got to be a secret, Bo, Donnie Ray cautions. Jimmy, his eyes perpetually glazed, says, What? I'm not allowed to tell anyone, Donnie Ray expounds, wondering how far this conversation is going to go. You can tell us, Bo presses. I'm practicing. Figured that out already. I'm joining the armed forces. Bo counters with a smirk. Figured that out too. Get armed, use force. Not that kind of armed force. Army, maybe Marines. My uncle's getting me in early. Knows a loophole, Donnie Ray says, surprised how easy it is to make up lies on the spot. Your uncle in prison? Jimmy says, making Donnie Ray bristle. My uncle's wife's brother, Donnie Ray replies. He almost bursts out laughing at the confused expression on the other boys' faces. Such idiots. Heard about your dad's losing his job. Figured out you were going to rob a bank, Bo says, shifting the subject. Tell you what, if I don't get into the military, we'll collaborate, Donnie Ray says. At Jimmy's confusion with the four-syllable word, Donnie Ray envisions taking a picture and making a meme. You be the trigger man, I'll be the brains of the operation, Bo boasts. As if Donnie Ray wants to reply. Instead, he just turns and focuses on shooting, hoping to get rid of them. When they leave, Donnie Ray opens his journal and adds Bo and Jimmy's name to the list of targets, mumbling, Do the world a favor. A few days later, when Donnie Ray goes to the computer lab, he feels something on his seat. A journal. Alarmed that it looks identical to his, he quickly jams it in his backpack and returns his focus to the computer as he looks up the anarchist cookbook. That night, he takes out the journal he found, instantly struck by the dark, graphic drawings interspersed around bold text. Each page has a message surrounded by dark, impressive images. I feel trapped, with no way out. Donnie Ray nods in understanding. Yep, me too. He keeps reading. Like the scene in Star Wars where they were caught in the trash masher and something is underneath trying to pull you down. Except I'm alone with no friends to help me out. He continues to another page of the journal, more ominous visuals. Some days it feels like outside forces are tearing me apart, like the flying monkeys ripping out the scarecrow's stuffing. Donnie Ray takes a deep breath, trying to settle himself. But I suspect it's more like Fight Club, where I'm the one beating myself up. Donnie Ray reads that part several times, each eliciting a different emotion. At first he relates to it. He often feels torn apart, and he also feels like he beats himself up a lot, too. Fight Club blew him away, especially the ending. I met you at a strange time in my life. But he never thought about the movie the way this journal writer has. Turning the page again, he is struck by the word suicide in bold, decorative, ominous letters. Just found out that the theme song for the TV show MASH was called Suicide is Painless. Can't get the thought or the song out of my head. Wow, Donnie Ray says aloud. Who is this journal writer? Is it a guy or a girl? It could be anyone. The next day, as Donnie Ray walks the hallway, he sees the same people from the day before, but this time, instead of imagining shooting them, he hears the words from them repeating from the words in the journal. Susie Benner. I feel trapped with no way out. The jock next to her. Like the scene in Star Wars with the trash masher. The jock beside him. Something is underneath trying to pull me down. And the third jock adding, Except I'm alone with no friends to help me out. Could one of them have written the journal? He considers the transgender kid, hearing him or her saying, Some days it feels like flying monkeys are tearing me apart. The bookworm adds, But it's more like I'm the one beating myself up. Suicide is painless. Can't get it out of my head, he hears from the disabled kid. Donnie Ray shakes his head to get the images out of his mind. It doesn't work. That night, he reads more of the journal. I think about that movie, The Martian, a lot. How he got stranded alone for hundreds of souls. Or that old movie Castaway. Some days I think it sounds like heaven. No pressure from anyone else to be what they expect you to be. Donnie Ray looks at the poster of the Martian on his wall. His favorite quote from the film. You do the math. You solve one problem and you solve the next one and then the next. And if you solve enough problems, you get to come home. He turns the page in the journal, reading to himself. Sometimes I listen to a song over and over again, the lyrics infiltrating my soul. The words creep, weirdo, what am I doing here, and I don't belong here are interspersed all over the page. This journal writer, whoever he or she is starting to influence Donnie Ray in a profound and visceral way. It's reassuring, almost comforting to find someone he can relate to. They are each screaming in silence, yet not being heard. The next day, in class, Donnie Ray ponders whether Mr. Garba could be the journal writer, echoing, no pressure from anyone else to be what they expect you to be. Who else in class thinks they might be a creep or a weirdo? Who might be asking, what am I doing here? Or saying, I don't belong here? The words he read that night might penetrate his psyche. I often have dreams where I wake myself up yelling, I volunteer as tribute. I would, you know. If I could give my life to save someone else, someone who deserves it, I'd do it in a nanosecond. Would I volunteer for someone like Cato or Clove or Glimmer or Marvel? No way. That would be like killing people myself, which I could never, ever do. If I was a tribute in the Hunger Games, I'd be more like PETA, trying to figure out a way to save people, not hurt them. It's like the words strike Donnie Ray right between the eyes, and then he realizes he can change. He is changing. He reads more. My favorite part of the entire Harry Potter series was the story of the three brothers. Not because they cheated death, but because the third brother made friends with death. Donnie Ray's heart seizes with a sense of foreboding. Suicide is in the movies a lot, in one form or another. Didn't Harry Potter in essence kill himself when he went into the woods to confront Voldemort? How about Bruce Willis's character in Armageddon? And let's not forget Thelma and Louise. Donnie Ray hadn't thought about it that way. Not really. He keeps reading. I don't watch love stories, so-called chick flicks, not because I'm ashamed of being a chick, but because the concept of love is so fabricated. I would die for you, they say. Great, go ahead and get yourself killed and leave me alone. That's supposed to be love? Donnie Ray takes a deep breath. So this journal writer is a girl. His mind flashes to the girls in school, the cheerleader, the bookworm, the transgender person. He opens up his yearbook, searching. Then he reads one more page of the journal before falling asleep. My parents were watching one of their favorite movies last night, Field of Dreams. If I was there, I'd go rushing into the cornfield. Wouldn't hesitate for a second. Talking to himself, Donnie Ray replies, and I'd go running after you. That night he tosses and turns, unable to sleep. But why? He doesn't know this person. Why is she affecting him so much? The next morning, Donnie Ray opens the journal to read a page before school. This is it. I'm doing it tonight, when my parents are asleep. Like that song that says, this is the end, my only friend. Donnie Ray frantically turns the page. This appears to be the last entry. Frantic, he runs to school. He desperately looks around, trying to figure out what to do, who he can talk to. He walks by Mrs. Linzer's office and thinks about stopping, but changes his mind and doesn't say anything. Dejected, Donnie Ray walks home. It's late, but surprisingly no one is there. When he goes into the kitchen, the room is awry. Food is on the stove, but cold. He notices a red stain on the floor. Whatever. Emotionalist, Donnie Ray shrugs and leaves. He finds his way to an all-night diner. Despondent, Donnie Ray thumbs through the blank pages following the final entry in the journal. Muttering to himself, Donnie Ray says, I have to find her. The waitress, overhearing him, replies, You will. Thanks for listening to Donnie Ray by Brownell Landrum. I hope the story offered both understanding and hope for a complex world. Please like and subscribe to the podcast and take a listen to the song I wrote to go with the story, entitled What Can I Do? It's available on YouTube. Thanks again. Hi, this is Brownell. For more of these transcendental tales, please join the Life is a Trip group on Facebook and check out my amusing and enlightening story entitled The End, which you can find on my website, brownelllandrum.com. That's BrownellLandrum.com. And please look for my upcoming novel trilogy entitled We Meet Again. It's a story about a famous couple reincarnated today to help solve a centuries-old mystery that will change the world.